Hey everybody, welcome back to the workbench. Hope you're having a good weekend. The Toyota's done, getting ready to put it up on the shelf. I wanted to show it to you right quick. And before I get this video out, I just wanted to kind of show you what all I did. Again, this is Salvinos JR's Toyota Camry, driven by Denny Hamlin. It's the number 11 FedEx entry. I've got the Martin Truex Jr. kit up there in my stash that I will eventually build. It's underneath the Ford truck there. And my goal, I'd like to build all 6 entries that Toyota has. I think they've got, besides Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., they have the 2311 team of Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick. They also have Christopher Bell, and they have number 54, Gibbs. So, yeah, I'd like to get all 6 of those built. I know I have to go searching for decal sets for Bubba Wallace's. McDonald's, Columbia, which he raced yesterday, or Dr. Pepper, which I'd prefer to do, but I'm sure I'll find that someday and I'll build one or more of his cars. But I do plan on getting back online and ordering some more of these as add-ons. If you're not a member of Salvinos JR Builders Club, I highly recommend getting in and doing that. Or if you're not, just go to your local hobby store and buy the kits from them. Support them just as much. We're going ahead and kind of give you a little run through on the kit. I don't glue my bodies to my chassis because I like to show off the detail on the chassis. This one, the tires, I also don't glue to them, so I can take them off at any time. I did some decals from Mike's Decals. If you can see right here, little red decal, it's missing from the back. Those were on Mike's Decals. They had those in red. They also had decals that say left front, left rear, right front, right rear. I like those, so I put them on. I need to get more because it only came in one set for one sheet. So, yeah, I think Mike's Decals. I'll leave a link in the description that you can check those out. Other thing I recommend about the tires is for the front and backs of the rims, glue those together first. Make sure you run a good bead of Tamiya extra thin cement or some Plastruct bonding or what have you. So, and then when it's dry, push that through your tire, and then of course, you know, detail them to your heart's content, put them on the car. Anyhow, as you can see here, I take off the one tire. Just gonna be kind of with that. You can see the suspension detail. Again, as Jim Rogers pointed out to me early on, the upper and lower control arms and everything, the brackets are black, so make sure you have that painted appropriately. And of course, I just want a little bit of detail, so I use some chrome yellow on the shocks for the front and rear. The engine is just various colors of metallizers and red Toyota Racing Development valve covers. Didn't see an awful lot of pictures of the current one. I did see some other ones, so I went with that. But everything went together really well. Hood closes nice and neat. It's almost level, but still is what it is. Definitely recommend that on the kit you follow not just the instructions, but Jim Rogers put out a good video, as did Clay Kemp, about this firewall. The firewall front, you need to cut out a little bit of the very bottom tabs, left and right, so it'll seat up on this little gray part of the chassis roll cage, so everything fits well, especially the front, because on these kits you have those 4 tabs. I'm trying to do this without everything falling apart. If you don't have those little tabs hogged out just a little bit, these will not fit well, and then your kit's not gonna sit well, it's not gonna fit well, and then you're gonna wonder what happened. Well, that'll be it. In the back, of course, I have this already put together, but on the back you have your transaxle housing. Jim Rogers pointed out in the same video for his, there is the very bottom piece. There's a pin that sits through for the bottom of the chassis. There's a hole there. That fits into place, but in order to do that just proper, and for everything to fit proper, the 2 triangular pieces at the very front of that transaxle bottom, you need to sand those down just a little bit so they fit into place. And the only reason why he's really saying that is because in the molding process, they had to have a little bit of extra plastic in both areas for them to come out of the molds. So yeah, just sand them down, it fits better. Follow the instructions, take your time, put these things together in sub-assemblies, and then adjust them as need be, and go from there. Again, I don't really have any issues with this kit, none at all. I mean, it sits well. I would do the front parts, and then I would go away from them for a bit while I worked on the back, or I was working 2+ hours on the decals, come back and work on some more items, try and get a little closer shot of the interior. Of course, I showed an earlier one where I sanded down the shifter linkage and replaced it with a metal tube. I had an extra toe to decal, so I put that on the seat. If anything, I kind of wish we had more decals on the decal sheet, but I'm certainly not complaining. It's just a wish. The only reason being is if you look in the interiors of these cars, they've got 800,000 decals or stickers inside for their sponsors. I mean, if you look at Kevin Harvick, I always see like these Hunt's Pizza decals, and they keep saying, "Man, I see these decals. When do we get a pizza?" But seriously, 4 or 5 decals of Hunt's Pizza, or in this case, Toyota TRD, I'd have that all over the place. So the only thing I had was I took a spare Toyota decal after everything was applied, and I just put that on the dashboard just for some contrast. Otherwise, everything went together well. No issues at all. Just take your time building this kit, and you'll be rewarded with a really, really good looking kit. So, yes, I put that on there, and then I'll put it up on the shelf with the other kits. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I know my daughter liked it when I was upstairs doing the decals for him. I did have to do a bit of touch-up. It might not show up on the camera, but around the front, the decals, I had them in as best I could, but I also noticed at the very end that when I put the hood on the car, that I just had a little bit of a white outline. So what I did was I took some Tamiya TS24 purple, which is a close match to the decals, and I just kind of did some light touch-up paint. Did that also for the sides of the hood, and then just popped it back on and went about the business. Also, if you're looking at these decal sheets, you don't see them too well, but this little triangular piece is for the letter F, and then there was one that you could barely see until it just snuck up on you. It's the 2 S's for the FedEx Express. So make sure when you're putting this kit together, look out for those decals, and you know, don't miss them. But again, overall, great kit, love it, gonna continue building them. If you see or know of anybody that's doing the extra decals for like Bubba Wallace's cars, McDonald's, Columbia, or even DoorDash, but I prefer Dr. Pepper. I don't think Mike's Decals has any of those out yet. Someone did tell me via email that they've seen them. If you've seen them, let me know who I can contact so I can order a set of decals, because I definitely want to build one of each of the 6 Toyotas and have those up on the shelf. So yeah, with that, I got a couple of builds I'm getting ready to work on. I got a couple pictures to kind of tease you with. It's just kind of like a what if, but I saw something interesting. When I was looking at the Olds Cutlass 442 over here off to the side, as I show you in the picture, I kind of put the top of the car, the body, on top of the chassis, and I looked at it and I said, it looks like it would fit, and it actually does. You'll see in the picture that the chassis is actually wider than the body of this car, but if you were to build a NASCAR style chassis for this Olds 442, and I probably would say, because they're about the same size, the Buick GSX, you just need to cut out the wheel wells really well and put some flares on it, and you got yourself a NASCAR style Buick GSX or Olds 442. So I mean, that's just an idea. I'm throwing that one out there. I'm not going to do that to this kit. I'm still doing this one as a box stock build, still trying to decide on what color, but I do have one that I'm going to have some fun with, And hope you like this one, because this is the one I'm gonna actually start on. This kit here, as I move this guy out of the way, 81 Chevy Monte Carlo. I got a couple of these kits in my stash, and I've already cleaned the body. I'm getting ready to sand it a bit, but I looked at this kit and I kept thinking, and usually thinking is dangerous when it comes to me and having time on our hands. With the kit of the month, I got an extra set of these decals for Chase Elliott. And I looked at the kit up top that I got for Chase Elliott's Camaro, and I saw the blue paint scheme, and I started thinking, what if he raced one of these? So I'm gonna play around with the stencils, because they sent stencils, wrong color, but they sent stencils. So I'm gonna kind of check that out, and I think it's doable, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So stay tuned. We'll be showing that one off here, hopefully midweek or by the end of the week, what I've done with it. In the meantime, hope you're building really cool kits out there. Hope what we're doing is inspiring you. And with that, have a great rest of the weekend. See you next video.